Welcome to the historic Donington Park race circuit in the East Midlands, where the sun is shining for rounds 13 and 14 of the 2012 Triumph Triple Challenge. The lads had last weekend off to enjoy Triumph live, but it's now back to the nitty-gritty of the championship, which sees Rob Guyver hold a commanding 48-point lead over his main rival, the South African Phil Atkinson. We'll find out how the lads did in qualifying in just a bit, but first up, a lot of people have been getting in touch with the Triumph Triple Talk podcast to ask us how they can get involved in the race series next year. And there's only one man to talk to about that, and that is the series director, Tony Scott. So Tony, big news here from Donington Park is that you've actually launched the Triumph Triple Challenge for 2013, haven't you?
Yeah, I was looking forward to launching the 2013 Championship here at Donington Park. Confirmation that we will be running a game with the TTC next year using the Daytona 675R, so a bit of a specification change on the bikes. But people that are looking, interested in the TTC, they can go to the website, www.triumphtriplechallenge.com. There you'll find a little banner that says join us for 2013. Click on that, fill in your details, and we will send you an information pack and a DVD which tells you all about the championship and how you can get involved.
So we've come away from the Triumph Village area for just a moment to the Superstock 600 area. We're going to catch up with this young man, Tommy Dell, who races for Team Haribo Star Mix on a Triumph in the Superstock 600 Championship. And fella, I wanted to have a chat this weekend because you're proper back on it, aren't you?
Yeah, finally back on it. We've had some technical issues with the bike and with me, to be honest. We've broken a few bones this year, but to come here and qualify 6th for the weekend's a good start.
Mate, very, very impressive time. Really, as I say, getting back on it, and you're sporting a nice tan too.
Yeah, just got back off holiday, so it's an Essex tan, isn't it?
I love it. Now listen, series so far, as you mentioned, there's been some ups and downs, some highlights, some lowlights, some broken bones. I mean, how would you describe it so far, your first series in Superstock 600?
Challenging. No, it has been challenging, but when we're on the pace, we can do really well. It's just getting everything set up right, and we're on our way there now.
I think that's one of the biggest things, isn't it? It's the battle for a rider to get his bikes up so it's doing what you want it to do. Now, you spent 3 years in the Triumph Triple Challenge. Do you think it helped you spending that time on a Triumph before you move up to, obviously, a factory team like this?
Yeah, 100%. That's what gave me sort of all my foundations to move on to here. I learned a lot of things there, basically just how to ride the Triumph, sort my gearing out and suspension, because it was a one-make series. Suspension was key to everything.
It's only half a second separate the top 4 riders in qualifying on Friday, taking pole position with a 1:32.0 once more championship leader Rob Guyver there on bike number 13. His main rival in the championship, Phil Atkinson, hoping to claw back some of that 48-point deficit, takes 2nd place and 3rd place in the elite class championship, and leading the premier class is James Egan, fellow South African, on the front row of the grid. And rounding off the front row, Chrissy Rouse there, number 55, the youngster looking for his first win of the season. But as you know, as I say, that's enough chat, let's get racing. So an exhilarating race one. I saw Phil Atkinson crash out on the first lap and left the door open for his fellow compatriot to not only take the lead on the first lap, but then lead right to the end when the race was red flagged and take 2nd place in the championship from him. James Egan, you must be chuffed, mate.
Oh yeah, we're so happy with how the weekend's gone. It's started off quite well. It's a much more straightforward track than a lot of the funny English tracks like Cadwell and Alton, where there's no special tricks to it. And yeah, fortunately we came with quite a nice setup. We haven't really changed too much, and yeah, it's fortunately just been sort of going our way. And yeah, so the race, I got quite a good start, got into the lead, and then I had a little bit of a tussle with Phil, and then I just put my head down and went. And I did a few too many laps in qualifying, so my tyre started really going fraught at the end. And I just had to bring it home, and yeah, last lap, unfortunately, the red flag. But that's doesn't mean anything to me. We got the win, and that's what I'm so chuffed about.
Rob, I'm in the very weird position of saying congratulations on a 2nd place, man. It doesn't happen very often.
Nah, I'm a bit disappointed, to tell you the truth. I felt I had the pace to win the race, and I had a bit of a rubbishy start really, and was battling with Chrissy Rouse for a little bit. Managed to make my way through. I see Phil shoot off. I didn't realise he crashed till the pit crew told me after the race. Yeah. So obviously I wanted to try and make a big gap because I knew he'd be coming through. And I was chasing down James, catching him. I knew exactly where I was going to pass him when red flags come out. So in a good way, it's good for the championship for me because Phil didn't finish, but I'm gutted because I thought I could have had the win today.
So Chrissy, you said earlier when we were chatting in the paddock that you wanted to get a podium. Oh, score one, podium, third place. You must be well happy, fella.
Yeah, spot on. Just exactly what we needed. Had a few offs in recent meetings, so it's just great to just sort of consolidate my recent good form, and yeah, just being on the podium is exactly where we need to be. So made up, yeah.
So we're back in the Triumph Village area now, because I wanted to find out more about Triumph Live, which took place last week. And now one of the riders who seems to have quite a good time is a gentleman called Mr. Tom Whedon. I understand you not only got a race win, but a second place in race 2 as well.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Never had a podium before in the Triumphs, and then suddenly just get a win out of nowhere. It was brilliant, especially after the bad weekend we had at Cadwell, so it was really good.
Quality. And Triumph Live itself, was it nice to go out on circuit, obviously without championship points up for grabs, and just get to actually hoon around with the boys and get involved that way?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Just it was really relaxed, and we could all just go out there and have a bit of fun. Everyone just seemed to be all really relaxed, and no one was really pushing for it, or there was competitiveness, but it was more a friendly competitiveness at the same time, if you know what I mean.
So it's all changed then for race 2 on the grid here at Donington Park. Unfortunately, Philaxton crashed out early in race 1, and he'll be starting from the front of row 3. Tom Ward as well, tragic news for him. He would have been starting from 4th place on the grid on the front row, but he crashed on the last lap, breaking his wrist. He's had to go home. That does mean, though, that Rob Guyver once again has pole position, a 1:36.6 for him. And James Egan, winner of race 1 yesterday, and a new second place contender in the championship, starts from second. Chrissy Rouse, who got third place in race 1, starts from third place on the grid, and in 4th it's Tom Whedon. But as you can see, they're all ready to go. I'm going to get out of the way and let them race.
The championship leader, great start from the man alongside him, yesterday's race winner James Egan, and it's the 21-year-old South African who rattles through Redgate in the lead on bike number 81. Chrissy Rouse, number 55, fighting with Tom Whedon for second place. Rouse has a big moment, a huge moment, as he exits Melbourne hairpin, goes grass tracking and has to sort himself out there. Further downfield, Goddard catches people out as they clip the curb and go down. 2 fallers there. Tom Whedon, a huge moment coming out of the Melbourne hairpin, allows Phil Atkinson, the South African, to pounce and move through into second place. Number 13, Rob Guyver, only 8th on the first lap, regroups and starts to move through, pinches third place from Tom Whedon at Redgate. And then he moves in on Phil Atkinson, number 5, and brilliantly slices beneath him at Coppice and holds him off as they come down a hill. And then at the old hairpin on the next lap, James Egan loses the lead. Rob Guyver snatches it from him, side by side as they go through Starkeys and up the hill towards McLean's. But Rob Guyver has snatched victory, his 9th of the season, to cement his hold on the Triumph Triple Challenge Championship of 2012.
Rob, another race win, mate. You were proper on it in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I had such a terrible start, and I made a couple of mistakes around the first turn. Got beaten up again. You know, I was gutted about that. I come round about 9th, I think.
I think so, yeah, after the first lap there.
Yeah, and I just thought might be able to get a podium from here. So I just got on it, worked my way through, and as I was passing more and more riders, I thought, this is it. After yesterday, I've got to win this. I just pushed as hard as I could, bit my teeth in, and you know, it was fantastic. All race really brilliant.
It's not exactly a bad weekend for you, mate. Premier in Elite Class win yesterday, Premier win today, second in the Elite Class, and you led for so much of the race. Looking good. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I got out and tried to sort of do the same thing we tried to do yesterday. And yeah, I think Rob just had that little bit of opportunity to sit behind us the whole race and sort of maybe pick up my weaker spots. And yeah, obviously our first time coming out to the track, I thought I had it sussed out, except for this last little sector 3 where I think Rob, he's just got it absolutely nailed.
So Phil, after race 1 yesterday, I know how disappointed you were, obviously, having to start from the front of the third row, third place. Pretty happy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously from the third row it's pretty tough. You know, just try to stay on basically the first lap and just make my way through the guys. Finally got up to second, started closing James down, and then after about, I think it was lap 5 or 6, all of a sudden the front brakes just started fading more and more back to the handlebar. And since the race we've checked the lever, and obviously from yesterday's incident it's damaged the master cylinder slightly and some fluids leaking out. So, you know, all things considering that, to still be on the podium, we're happy with that.
So that's about it from Donington Park. Rounds 13 and 14 of the Triumph Triple Challenge saw some incredible and exhilarating and close racing. We're packing up the circus now. We'll be moving it to Silverstone, which happens in 3 weeks' time. But don't forget, as Tony Scott mentioned earlier in the show, if you'd like to take part in the Triumph Triple Challenge for 2013, you can do. You can be racing on TV, and maybe even meet me for as little as £900 a round. Oh, that's less than my usual bar bill. So to get yourself racing, head to triumphtriplechallenge.com.